Say this episode is for somebody who feels stuck in their business and lost and overwhelmed and is in desperate need for some type of order, some type of process, some type of triggering action to start moving consistently in the right direction. This book will
allow me to introduce to you today's guest, author of Traction, Get a Grip, Rocket Fuel, How to Be a Great Boss, Entrepreneurial Leap, the EOS Life, and the 10 disciplines for managing and maximizing your energy, Gino Wickman.
Well, one of my favorites of all time, as I look back in the last 30 years, is that you get everything you want out of life if you help enough people get what they want.
Dude, it's like you know me. That quote was the reason why I started this podcast.
The first step is to make sure they have the genetic encoding, okay? Because just having your head in the clouds does not make you an entrepreneur. So there are 6 essential traits. And again, I know we're not going to go deep into this content and we don't have time to, but if you're visionary, passionate, a problem solver, driven, a risk taker, and responsible, so if you go to e-leap.com, you can take an assessment. You score 90 or higher, that's going to tell you if you're truly an entrepreneur in the making, because some head in the clouds people don't have all the traits that you're born with to be an entrepreneur. And maybe they're better marketers or they're better salespeople or something like that. So that's the first point I want to make, because we're talking to restaurateurs or potential restaurateurs. And a true restaurateur that builds a great restaurant and empire is an entrepreneur. They're a visionary. They have these traits. And so for someone who has their head in the clouds, I'm going to keep using your terminology, wants to go into the real estate industry, but doesn't have those 6 essential traits, I beg you to stop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save you 10 years of hell. And then the last little point is what the book does is first confirms that you have what it takes. Once you do, the second part of the book is to show you a glimpse of the life and all of your options. And then the third thing, it shows you a path for how to be successful. I wrote that book as much to stop people from trying to take the entrepreneurial leap as much as to help them become successful, because not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur, i.e. visionary, and the world is being sold a bill of goods that's like the only destination in life. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and it's just not all it's cracked up to be. But for those of us that have this crazy wiring, it's the only option for us. It's heaven.
So if there's one characteristic that is lacking, that you think is the most crucial characteristic, what is that?
There isn't one. You got to have all 6, and I'll debate this to my death. I've done 150 podcasts on this subject, and I'm not doing any more. But but what the book is teaching is you must have 6 essential traits. And I've been asked a million times, what if you don't have this one? You've got to have all 6. Go take the assessment. But it's visionary, passionate, problem solver, driven, risk taker, responsible. And if you don't have one of those and you are born with them, do not take your leap. Doesn't mean you can't be a one-person show. Doesn't mean you can't be an influencer. Doesn't mean you can't go become a handyman or handywoman making $60 an hour, making $100,000 a year. We're talking about true visionaries, entrepreneurs that build organizations with people. And so what I teach in the book is it starts with your business. Okay, so again, we're helping entrepreneurs here, visionaries. And so it starts with your business. And if you have a 50-person company, you need to love all 50 of those people. And the way that you love all 50 of those people is to make sure they all have your core values. Okay, and so if they all have your core values, they're all the right people in the right seats. You just love being around each other. You love working together. You operate the same way. Step 1 is to make sure that's the case. And let's pretend you have 50 and 10 of them you don't love so much. For some reason, they just don't have the core values. They don't fit in your culture. It doesn't make them bad, you bad. Nobody's right or wrong in that scenario. But if you want to build an amazing company that endures for decades, you got to get all the right people in the right seats. Right people means core values. So now watch this. That's the company and the 50 people. Now let's expand the circle. So now let's go to all of your vendors and your partners and your customers. Do they all align with your core values, and do you love being around them? And again, I'm the walking example of everything I teach. So every client I work with, I love them. I wake up giddy every morning when I have a session with my clients because we align. So let's expand the circle even more. Let's go to your friends and family. Do you love being around all of them? And so Move the Needle says in the next 90 days, Who do you love being around and who don't? And look at any one of those circles in the business, the people that touch your business, or your friends and family. And you scheduled an appointment, a meeting, a get-together, and be it an employee, a vendor, a friend, a family member, next week, and you're about to sit there for an hour having coffee. Are you going to walk away from that meeting feeling energized and uplifted, or drained? And if it's one of those energy drainers, cancel that effing appointment right here and now. You just moved the needle one step closer to living your ideal life because you're around more people that you love being around.
Yeah. I'm going to throw you a curveball real quick,
please,
Gino,
please.
because I know there's people listening to this right now going, does Gino know how hard it is in the restaurant industry to find people right now? And I know people must be thinking to themselves, I wish I could select people that I work with that I love.
Yeah.
But right now I just need somebody to, put money in the drawer.
Listen, and I would say to all of you, do you know how hard it is to find people in any industry right now? So I know we're going to get in a fist fight over my industry is tougher than yours. It's tough in every industry, okay? And I'm living this real time, okay? I built a company with my partner, Don Tenney. I was the visionary. He was the integrator. It now has over 600 people in it. I get it, okay? I get it. And I have tons of clients. And I have tons of clients that don't have hiring problems. It's challenging in their industry too. So all I would suggest to you, again, moving the needle. So I'm going to try and avoid the fist fight, but if we need to have the fist fight, let's have it. I know how hard it is. And I also, I'm not ignorant to, you just survived a pandemic. Half the people left your industry for other jobs, and now you're trying to figure out how to pull them back. I so get that. But in any crisis, in any recession, in any depression, in any pandemic, when the pie shrinks, you just got to get your bigger piece of the pie. Yeah. And I will tell you, my clients, myself, we're all getting a bigger piece of the pie. And so what that means is your core values have to be crystal clear for your organization. Your organization needs to run like a Swiss watch. You need to pay your people well. You need to be attractive to people. With all due love and respect to 90% of you restaurant owners out there, you ain't attractive. You're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
I could choose from 100 of you to go work for it. But then there's the 10%. Like we have a restaurant and I live in a small town. I'm not going to say any names, but an amazing restaurateur. This guy is a badass. He's got the best people working there. The place is crowded every night. Come on. And then there's the restaurant down the street, 1 block away, 6 buildings down, can barely stay afloat. Same city, same industry, same everything, with all due love and respect. And I can tell you that about the insurance industry and the technology. So if you want to have a fist fight, I love a good fight. Bring it on. It's called a Level 10 meeting. Go to YouTube, how to have an effective meeting. Maybe put my name in there as well. And it's a 7-minute video that will show you how to do this meeting that you're so excited about, Eric. It's called the Level 10. Very powerful.
Mastered it.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Watch the video again. But it's a 90-minute weekly meeting you do with your leadership team, and it's bulletproof, man. It is so powerful. And we, again, 140,000 companies are using that meeting. I honed and refined it over a 5-year period. Anyways, it's a pretty powerful meeting.
It's the real deal.
Promoting these places, the tourism would love it.